Good evening and welcome to the public meeting for the State Road 776 Safety Improvements Project in Charlotte County. With us at this meeting is Jeremy Stucker, Project Manager for the Florida Department of Transportation, and several other FDOT staff and project team members. During the meeting, we will present information on the department's plans to improve safety and enhance operations along this corridor. We encourage your feedback, and during the presentation, we will provide multiple ways you can submit your questions and comments. After the presentation, FDOT project staff will be available near the project display boards at the in-person meeting to answer questions and receive comments. If you are participating online, you may submit written questions or comments in the question box on the GoToWebinar control panel. All comments and questions will be responded to after the meeting and will become part of the public meeting record. We appreciate your involvement. This meeting is being conducted in a hybrid format to provide multiple ways for the public to receive information about the project and provide input. This meeting is being conducted in person, virtually through GoToWebinar, and over the phone. If you dialed in today on a telephone line, the PowerPoint presentation is available on the project webpage at swflroads.com/project/000008-1. For online participants in the GoToWebinar application, you will see a set of icons in the top right corner of the menu bar. Click the Questions icon where the red arrow is pointing to open the Questions panel. Type your question into the field where the red arrow is now pointing to, and hit Send to submit your question or comment to project staff. To download documents about the project, click on the Materials icon where the red arrow is pointing to open the Documents panel. Inside are project files that can be viewed or downloaded. If joining GoToWebinar on your mobile device, click the Questions icon at the bottom of your screen. This will open the Questions panel where you can enter your question or comment into the field and hit Send. Click the Handouts icon at the bottom to open the Documents panel where you will find project files to view and download. If you happen to experience a technical issue during this meeting, please type the issue in the questions box on the control panel on GoToWebinar, or send an email to chuck@valeran-group.com to report it. You may also call 1-833-851-8340. Staff will do their best to assist you. This public meeting was advertised and is being conducted in accordance with state and federal requirements, including Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Public participation is solicited without regard to race, color, national origin, age, sex, religion, disability, or family status. Persons wishing to express their concerns about Title VI may do so by contacting Cynthia Sykes, District 1 Title VI Coordinator, by mail at 801 North Broadway Avenue, Bartow, Florida, 33830-3809. By phone at 863-519-2287 or email at cynthia.sykes@dot.state.fl.us. You may also contact Stefan Kulikowski, State Title VI Coordinator, by mail at 605 Swanee Street, Mail Station 65, Tallahassee, Florida, 32399-0450. By phone at 850-414-4742 or email at stefan.kulikowski@dot.state.fl.us. This information is shown on a sign at the in-person location on the project website and in the meeting notifications. FDOT is proposing improvements at multiple intersections along State Road 776 between the communities of Englewood and Port Charlotte. Improvements are planned at 7 intersections along the corridor: Ocean Spray Boulevard, Seamus Drive, Shalimar Street, David Boulevard, Hollis Avenue, Cornelius Boulevard, Biscayne Drive, and Collingswood Boulevard. Potential improvements are also being considered at 3 additional intersections: Mayport Street, Biggs Street, Roberta Drive, Regina Drive, and at the Port Charlotte Town Center West Entrance. These intersections are primarily surrounded by commercial properties along State Road 776 and residential homes along the side streets. Within the project limits, State Road 776 is a 4-lane divided roadway with a grassed median. The posted speed limit is 55 miles per hour. The purpose of this project is to improve safety, enhance traffic flow, and reduce crashes along State Road 776 by managing access at the project intersections. This includes converting the existing full median openings to 2-way directional median openings. These interim safety improvements will simplify the decision-making for drivers by reducing the conflicts and crashes within the median openings. Conflict points are locations along a roadway where the paths of 2 vehicles can legally cross, just not at the same time. Each conflict point is a location where a crash can occur. When vehicles enter or exit the roadway, there are several conflict points, which create the potential for crashes. 2-way directional medians have been found to be an effective countermeasure for reducing conflict points along a corridor. The example shown here depicts the number of conflict points when entering the main roadway from a side street or driveway. With an open median, the unrestricted movements to or from the side street creates conflict points or areas where vehicles have the potential for collisions. This could also include non-motorized vehicles or pedestrians on sidewalks, which come into conflict with vehicles entering or exiting the roadway. Installing a directional median opening, as shown in the example, reduces the number of conflict points by restricting the through and left turn movements from the side streets. These side street movements are redirected to right turn onto the main roadway, followed by a U-turn at an adjacent median opening. This is called a restricted crossing U-turn. With a restricted crossing U-turn or R-cut, drivers stopped at the side street waiting to cross or turn left no longer must navigate a complex intersection with 2 directions of traffic often traveling at high speeds. According to the Federal Highway Administration, or FHWA, the installation of an R-cut results in a 63% reduction in injury and fatal crashes. Under the existing conditions along State Road 776, the full median opening allows left turns for vehicles from each intersection approach along the main roadway and side streets. This creates conflicts for vehicles trying to enter the median opening simultaneously. The proposed condition with a directional median opening separates traffic traveling in opposing directions along the corridor. It is configured so that only vehicles traveling along the main roadway can access it to make a turn. Left turn and through movements from side streets are removed. On an east-west main roadway, such as this segment of State Road 776, there would be one directional opening for an eastbound left and U-turning traffic, and a separate directional opening for westbound left and U-turning traffic. This configuration has fewer conflicts and provided improved visibility by managing the placement of vehicles within the median. We will now discuss each of the intersections, providing the interim improvement concept, historical crash information, and rerouted turning movements. At each location, northbound and southbound left turning and through movements from the side streets will be rerouted to median openings or signalized intersections to the east and west. Exhibit boards with this information along with collision diagrams, are on display at the in-person meeting. Virtual attendees can download these exhibit boards through the Documents panel on GoToWebinar. They can also be viewed on the project website. At Ocean Spray Boulevard, from year 2019 through 2024, there were a total of 62 crashes that resulted in 6 fatal or incapacitating injuries. Based on the historical crashes, eliminating left turn movements onto State Road 776, 32 crashes would be considered correctable at the intersection. Here, you see how northbound and southbound left turning and through movements from Ocean Spray Boulevard will be rerouted to the signalized intersection at Sunnybrook Boulevard to the west and the median opening at Seamus Drive, Shalimar Street, to the east. At Seamus Drive, Shalimar Street, from year 2019 through 2024, there were a total of 23 crashes that resulted in 4 fatal or incapacitating injuries. 9 of these crashes would be considered correctable with the interim improvements. At David Boulevard from year 2019 through 2024, there were a total of 44 crashes that resulted in 4 fatal or incapacitating injuries. 26 of these crashes would be considered correctable. Northbound and southbound left turning and through movements from Seamus Drive, Shalimar Street, will be rerouted to the median opening at Ocean Spray Boulevard to the west and the median opening at David Boulevard to the east. Vehicles from David Boulevard will be rerouted to the median opening at Seamus Drive, Shalimar Street to the west and the median opening at Kevitt Boulevard to the east. At Hollis Avenue, there were 9 crashes in the 5-year period, with 2 fatal or incapacitating injuries. 5 of these crashes would be considered correctable with the interim improvement. Northbound and southbound left turning and through movements from Hollis Avenue will be rerouted to the median opening at Bardot Road to the west and the median opening located 1,325 feet to the east. At Cornelius Avenue, there were a total of 19 crashes in the 5-year period, with 2 fatal or incapacitating injuries. 1 of these crashes would be considered correctable. At Biscayne Drive, a total of 41 crashes occurred in the 5-year period, with 4 fatal or incapacitating injuries. 21 of these crashes would be considered correctable. Southbound left turning and through movements from Cornelius Boulevard will be rerouted to the signalized intersection at Riverwood Drive to the west. Vehicles from Biscayne Drive will be rerouted to the median opening at Cornelius Boulevard to the west. Based on the 5-year crash data, 28 crashes occurred at Collingswood Boulevard that resulted in 4 fatal or incapacitating injuries. 11 of these crashes would be considered correctable with the interim improvements. Northbound and southbound left turning and through movements from Collingswood Boulevard will be rerouted to the signalized intersection at Toledo Blade Boulevard to the west and the signalized intersection at Murdoch Circle, Enterprise Drive to the east. As previously mentioned, potential median modifications are also being considered at 3 additional intersections. At Mayport Street, Big Street, from year 2019 through 2024, there were a total of 19 crashes with no fatal or incapacitating injuries. 9 crashes would be considered correctable at the intersection. At Roberta Drive, Regina Drive, there were 24 crashes within the 5-year period, with 1 fatal or incapacitating injury crash. 9 of these crashes would be considered correctable. At the Port Charlotte Town Center West entrance, there were 16 crashes within the 5-year period, with no fatal or incapacitating injury crashes. 6 of these crashes would be considered correctable. Today, we are conducting both the virtual and in-person public meeting for these safety improvements. Moving forward, The design of this project is in progress and anticipated to be complete in late 2025. Construction for this project, incorporating the recommended improvements at the 7 intersections, is anticipated to begin in late 2025 at a cost of $92,000. We encourage your input and feedback about this project, and there are multiple ways for you to participate. All public comments and questions are part of the public meeting record, and every method for providing public comments and questions carries equal weight. While comments and questions will be accepted at any time, those submitted by February 24, 2025 will become part of the project's public meeting record. All comments and questions will be responded to in writing. To submit comments in person, you may speak to our project staff on the floor or complete a printed comment form and return it to project staff. If you are participating online, you may submit written questions or comments in the question box on the GoToWebinar control panel. Written comments may also be submitted on the project website at swflroads.com/project/000008-1. You may also contact the FDOT project manager directly by email at jeremy.stucker@dot.state.fl.us or by U.S. mail at the Florida Department of Transportation, 801 North Broadway Avenue, Bartow, Florida, 33830. You may also call the project manager at 863-519-2671 to provide verbal comments during normal business hours. The contact information is also available on the public meeting notification that you may have received by mail. On behalf of the Florida Department of Transportation, thank you for attending this public meeting and providing your input on this project. If you have comments or questions after the meeting, please submit them by February 24, 2025. Contact information, a recording of this presentation, project documents, and other exhibits displayed at the public meeting are posted on the project website at swflroads.com/project/000008-1. FDOT's vision is to provide a transportation network that is well planned, supports economic growth, and has the goal of being congestion and fatality-free. In conjunction with that vision, FDOT supports the Target Zero initiative. Target Zero is a statewide initiative to reduce the number of transportation-related serious injuries and deaths across Florida to zero. And finally, a safety moment. Leave the racing to the professionals. Be mindful of posted speed limits. Slow down and arrive alive. We thank you for making safety a continued priority.